Good morning and welcome down to WDiMT MuleTown. As always, this is a little under the weather captain speaking. I'm going to do my best to hang with y'all today, but I've got a raging sinus thing, so I probably feel like I sound like I talk different right now, or sound different, so bear with me. Got a lot to talk about though, so we will hop right into it. As you can see down on our storm tracker Doppler radar, we've got the pretty pink most everywhere throughout the mid-state area, and that is indicating that winter storm warning that we are now under. So remember, watch me check the conditions, because conditions are favorable, and then the warning means it is happening or will be happening very soon. So in my haste and headache this morning, I forgot to update the ticker, so I'm going to go ahead and drop that off. I'll get it updated in just a second, but we do have a lot to talk about, so we'll hop right on into that. There is that aforementioned winter storm warning. You can see there most everywhere in the mid-state area and everywhere in the National Weather Service office forecast region is covered under that winter storm warning. And then areas along and south into Kentucky and North Georgia are still covered under that winter weather advisory still. So big deal for that. We never really see that in Tennessee. So there's some are excited. Some have kind of got that impending feeling of dread. I get it. My old bones don't like the cold either anymore so much as I used to, but it will definitely be fun to see, and obviously the kids love it. So today, we're starting our highs of not getting out of freezing, so that starts today, and that will likely continue on into Thursday of next week. So definitely go ahead and enjoy that partly cloudy sun, whatever we get today, because it will be the last. Most everywhere else showing about the same, pretty much under freezing generally as you go across the board there. So this evening is when the fun things will begin, more than likely. Got the latest HRRR run, my favorite short-term model that I like to use, ready for you here in just a moment. We'll talk about exactly when we could start seeing that snow, but right now it looks as if the majority of the mid-state area will have that 80 to 100% chance of seeing those snow showers as we go throughout this evening and tonight. We will have live continuing coverage with you all night. Plan to try to be here at the desk as long as I can, just humanly possible. So we'll be watching it with you as it rolls in. Low of around 17 tonight in Columbia, 16 Waynesboro, 19 in Tullahoma, around 15 degrees or so on the mercury in Metro Davidson, Nashville, and about the same story as you go throughout the rest of Middle Tennessee. Pretty chilly. And then on Monday, whole area, 100% chance of those snow showers at some point off and on, and then about 22 degrees of the mercury in Columbia. And remember, this, like we said, will begin our stretch of lows and highs that are not out of the freezing range. And then we will also have some lows throughout the week that are extremely cold. So bitterly, dangerously cold temperatures are in the forecast. So definitely keep an eye on your winterization things that you should have done by now. We'll pull up our graphic about what you need to do if you haven't done, for the procrastinators like me that wait until the last minute. I'll tell you what you need to be doing in a scramble at this point. So current forecasted snow totals: Columbia is 4 to 6. I'm feeling pretty good and pretty confident in saying I told you so, now that we're this close to it. And chances to see about 3 inches in excess of snow, 80 to 90%. So right now, NWS on that last rightmost graphic has got us at about a 50 to 60% chance to see in excess of 5 inches. So definitely, even though I've got the sinus thing going on this morning, feeling like a very validated captain. And there is that dangerous cold that we talked about. So easily looking at negatives for our wind chills. The lows are going to be in the single digits, but with the wind going, we could definitely see those forecasted lower wind chills in the sub-zero range. So multiple consecutive days of freezing temperatures until sometimes well into Thursday morning. And even then, I believe our forecasted highs are only in the upper 30s, possibly might touch 40. So the coldest temperatures will be Monday and Tuesday nights. And then again, let's check on the 4 Ps: people, pets, plants, and pipes. Remember to go ahead and wrap those pipes up, drip your faucets, cover your sensitive plants and stuff that has to remain outside, and go ahead and bring all your potted stuff in. It's going to get so cold that it can actually crack your ceramic pots and stuff like that. We were having that discussion earlier, I think yesterday, on the page in the comments. The pets, obviously, bring them inside. So I have 2 fluffy, well, not fluffy, one's more fluffy, but I've got 2 hardy German Shepherds. Obviously, they hail from Germany, very cold direction, and my male loves the snow. This will be my female pup's first time to see the snow, so we'll see how she handles it. But with it being this cold, I normally don't let them stay outside all day if it's anywhere under 40 degrees, but anytime it's under freezing, I usually try to only let them out there just in sporadic bursts. So with it being this cold Monday night, I would say probably no longer than about 15-20 minutes max. So definitely be careful with the furry things, because we love them. People, check on the most vulnerable, such as your elderly, children, and those without heat. If you have some shut-ins, folks that don't get out much, give them a shout right now. See how they're doing. See if you can run to the drugstore for them, grocery store, whatever, and check on your neighbors. Here are those aforementioned ways that we can get ready. So a few days out, we're already past that, way past that. So you should already have your emergency supplies for your home and your car. You're checking the carbon monoxide and smoke detectors, making sure they're all running. They got fresh batteries. Everything is in good order. You should already have your fuel for your vehicle and your heating sources. So if you're using any of those alternative heat sources, the carbon monoxide and the fuel part is very important. The day before, so we're already pretty much past that point as well too, because our forecast accuracy is about as good as it's going to get at this point. I'm still waiting on, I think there's going to be about another 2 hours until the freshest version of the HRR model runs. I think it's on 16 Zulu, so about 2 more hours we should get the 18 Zulu, and it does run that 48-hour sweep every 6 hours, so that's what I'm waiting on. Bring your pets indoors, and again, like we talked about, make sure they have ample water, shelter, all that fun stuff. Do have multiple ways to receive warnings, so we are one of those ways. Then obviously weather.gov will tell you the latest and the greatest, local broadcast news media, and then adjust your plans, whatever may need be. And then during and after, so this is where we are pretty much at this point. So remain vigilant, stay informed. If you got to do the driving, do it now, because it's looking like things will deteriorate rapidly once the snow starts falling. So definitely check on those neighbors and family like we were just talking about. Make sure all your heat sources are properly ventilated. So if you're using any kind of kerosene heaters, anything like that that's putting off a combustible product, propane, whatever else, make sure they're all ventilated. Keep your generators, if the power does manage to go out, at least 20 feet from your home. That is, again, one of those carbon monoxide things and a fire risk. It's sitting there with a couple gallons of fuel on board, so we definitely don't want it catching on fire. And then the last one, even when you're playing, especially when you're shoveling, take it easy. So bundle up, definitely do wear those warm layers. Definitely wear those warm layers and make sure that we are not getting so bundled up to where it's making you sweat. Exposed skin that's sweaty like that will actually do you harm. So make sure you got everything covered up and you're not getting too wiped out there as far as the cold goes, because it will get you. All right, and now the thing everybody wants to talk about, the snowfall. So right now I've got the 12 Zulu run of HRRR. This is one of my favorite models. It kind of allows things, takes in more environmental conditions and does stuff on a short-term basis. And you can see that it's saying we should potentially start to see some snowfall around maybe between 4 and 5 p.m. We'll call it 4 to 6 for right now, but then snow continuing on pretty much solid, got a little off and on, but mostly on throughout the morning hours here, getting into 9 a.m. Monday, and then possibly tapering off a little bit after noontime, but that's getting into where my model stops here. So going through 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. there, and you see some of those pink wisps moving through the Columbia MuleTown area. Going to talk about that as well, because in the last run or two, the model started to suggest that we may see some, it's just really, really brief, so don't freak out on me, not just yet, some small ice accumulations. It's I think the last time I looked at it was measured in like a couple hundredths of an inch, so not tenths of an inch, not a quarter of an inch or anything like that. A quarter of an inch of ice doesn't sound like much, but that is basically like ice mageddon that will mess up power lines and screw up lots of things, make trees fall, everything else like that. So small possible ice accumulation. But we see most of that pink and purple mix that we've been talking about staying down to our south, maybe around the state line, mostly in North Alabama, as previously forecasted. So we're just kind of seeing those little wisps on the back end of things. So that is the model run. Some of them that were showing us possibly getting snow into Tuesday. This model run's not suggesting that right now, but it still is possible that we might be seeing some snow falling into Tuesday morning. So make plans for that. But it's looking like we will have several inches of snow on the ground if this all comes to pass. So I'm gonna let this run one more time here. So the timestamps are up there in the top left. It's got Event Central Time, so should be able to see kind of what is going on throughout the day. If you need to make plans or change plans, have a look at that, have a look at the time, and then adjust those plans accordingly. And then again, running through about 7 or 8 p.m., possibly, maybe 9, and then that snow should be moving on out. So I know everybody wants the totals. So right now, this is the model that I just ran. This is the snow total depths for those that I just showed you. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 6 inches are definitely possible. So go ahead and make sure that you've got those outdoor plants and everything good to go, because it looks like we will see a substantial snowfall right now if all of this comes to pass. So there, as aforementioned, is that ice accumulation from the same model graphic showing a possible, a slight accumulation of 1/100th of an inch in MuleTown area. Maybe the more south you go, so around Culleoka, eastern Murray County, northern Marshall County there. So definitely a possibility the further south you go in Lawrence County, Giles County, around that area. So definitely be careful. And if you are seeing any sleet or ice pellets, which we call grapple, freezing rain, anything like that, let us know, and we'll pass that on to the good folks at the Nashville Weather Service in Nashville. All right, so the North American model, normally pretty kind of a buzzkill sometimes when it comes to snow, but it's saying that 6.1 inches is definitely possible, and that hotter, brighter pink that you see there around Lewis County is 7 inches. So it is very well in the realm of possibilities to see that 6 or 7 inches, but it is on the higher end of the forecasted snow totals. NWS blend saying probably about 4 to 5 inches, so we're kind of right in the middle of the thinking there. And then our brackets. No, you hate to see the weather dude say between nothing and 10 feet, but that's just how it goes sometimes. But right now, we've got enough forecast confidence to say that we should, in the basement end of things, still see about 2 inches of snow and possibly up to that 6 inch. Everybody might not be seeing the 6 inches, but some scattered pockets of the heavier accumulations are definitely possible. So again, probabilities, these are just some that I have run. We'll go back to the NWS probabilities in just a second to kind of recap all of this. But 94%, pretty much 100 that we are going to see in excess of 1 inch of snow. This is the 1 inch there. And then the icon model got us with about 4 to 5 inches looking like there for sure. So, pop up the NWS totals again, so around 4 to 6, 80 to 90% chance to see in excess of 3 inches, and about 50 to 60, so a little bit better than half, to see in excess of 5 inches. As always, if you have any of those questions, go ahead and throw those in the comments. We'll get to them in just a second. I'm actually going to stop here real quick while y'all are thinking of questions or whatever else, or calling me a dodo, cussing me out. Don't mind on either one. Like I said, I've got thick skin. Just got to get our tracker info thrown in there real quick because I honestly just forgot it in my haste to run all the models and get ready for everything else. So if you've ever wondered or ever been like, hey, that was wrong, he told me the not truth, and that's not what happened today, I'm pulling these directly from the NWS site on their webpage. So don't shoot the messenger. If you go into their site, forecast.weather.gov, and go to the Nashville Weather Service office and click on roughly where you live in Murray County, it will give you that detailed point forecast. And that's what I'm doing. So give me one sec. Like I said, think of the questions, what you want to ask, what you want answered, what you've been wondering about. If you don't know how any of this works, ask me how I do it and we'll tell you. An open book here at Weather Down in MuleTown. So, like I said, I don't mind going out on a limb and saying, hey, this is what's up. If I think that's what's really going to come to pass, I'm never going to lie to you just for clicks, likes, taps, or any of that other stuff. But like I said, feeling pretty validated right about now because I kind of called this a couple days ago. I don't have a reputation to worry about so much so as the national news channels, I guess. So that's why I don't mind. If that's what's going to happen, and that's what I truly think is going to happen, I'll tell you if you ask me. Always been that way. The type of person, don't want to know, you better not ask, because I'll tell you. So just getting those loaded in. Just pulling the text real quick from the pulling the text off of the warning info for the winter storm warning. I'm going to go ahead and get the there we go. Let's go ahead and start scrolling that. There we go. There is our ticker back up and running. But I'm going to also yeah, I think we're going to scroll the warning instead, just because I want everybody to be the most aware of that. We can worry about our highs and lows later. So I want everybody to be aware of the winter storm information the most of all. Just getting that all strung together, so just bear with me a sec. And again, welcome to everybody that is joining us on our YouTube simulcast. As I always say during this part, we broadcast this on YouTube as well. The video, I have not finished my coffee, folks. I hope you can tell. The video quality on YouTube is tons better. It's actually full HD, unlike Facebook. Boo. I always try to get on there and answer those questions as well. So welcome to our YouTube audience. Mi español es más o menos. So we're going to get in the questions on there. Sorry about that, Albenza. Cheryl, you are very welcome. Glad to have you here on the broadcast. Glad you are joining us on YouTube. And then also, of course, welcome to everybody joining us on the Book of Faces. There we go. I got that winter storm warning info crawling right there, and you can see again everywhere that's shaded in the pink color here. So, and the entirety of the state of Tennessee, I believe. Yep. So, entirety of the state of Tennessee is covered under that winter storm warning. So, again, if you're just joining us, know the difference between watches and warnings. I've got the taco picture somewhere up around here. So if you're making tacos and you got all your lettuce and your beef and your tomatoes and your sour cream and your cheese or whatever laid out, that is a taco watch because all of the ingredients are there. We're just waiting on the tacos to happen. So warnings. We've already got our taco together and we're ready to go. Taco time is imminent. It's about to happen. So that is where we are now. So we are under a winter storm warning. For the first time, I would have to go back up and look it up exactly. But it's the first time in a long time as far as I can remember. So go ahead and hop into the comment section real quick and see how everybody's doing. Jennifer says she hopes we get 2 feet. I am right there with Jennifer. I love it. I always said if we got 10 feet, I would figure out a way to cut a hole in my roof and then do a swan dive from the roof off into the snow. So one day, if we ever do get that, I'll make sure to live stream it. Gabby said, just missed it when does the snow start. I saw that comment pop up just a minute ago, and I hope I got you covered on that because we were still talking about everything. If I didn't, Gabby, let me know. But it's looking like the snow could start as soon as around maybe 5 to 7 p.m. this evening. So that's moved up originally from what it was at first. We were thinking probably during the overnight hours of Monday, like early or late Sunday. But now it's looking like it will probably start over the last several model runs this evening instead. So Candy Ferris sending that big money. Appreciate you helping us keep the lights on. Miss Tammy says, hope snows butt deep to a giraffe. Outstanding. That is definitely a mental image for sure, but I like it. I'll allow it. Miss Tammy Hood sending that big money. Thank you. Helping us keep the lights on. Candy Ferris says, everyone stay warm, and you better listen to her, folks. That is some good advice right there. Right. Mike joining us. And tell me where you're from, too, folks. Tell me where you're at. Always like hearing that as well. Allison sending that big money. Thank you very much. All right. We got Kendall in the chat with us. Welcome, Kendall. Allison tagging Ashley. Hello to both of you. Come on down. It's not the price is right, but come on down anyway. Brittany tagging Miriam. Welcome to the stream, y'all. Candy Ferris, more big money. Thank you, Candy, helping us keep the lights on and do what we do. We are an all-volunteer organization, so we kind of just started this as a hobby, but every little bit that we can get help us cover our operating costs because we do have a little bit of an overhead with this venture. So glad to help. We all have servants' hearts. We're all retired or former public servants, so this is what we do. All right. Big money. Appreciate all of you all there. got Mary Lee Johnson in the chats, tagging Mr. Mark Hines. Hello, hello. Come on down, come on down. Hey, we got Mrs. Captain in the chats. Hello, love. Hello. I got Dickie in the chats. What's going on, Triple D? Hope you are doing very well, sir. Johnny, welcome down, brother. Welcome down. He says, let's see some stars purchased from this podcast for all that Cam does. Keep our community safe. Appreciate you down there barking for us, Mr. Johnny. Always glad to have you in the stream. Right, Mary Lee Johnson sending her big money. Thank you, thank you. Point forecast, your old place. Yeah, that's normally about where I somehow keep clicking on it. If you ever have a look down here at the radar, you'll notice that there's a little gold plus on the map of Murray County right there, and that is where I am speaking from. So we are live from Sunnyside, but I instinctively go in and click sometimes where Boppy lives, just out of habit. I'll have to go in and check on that, Marlies. I don't see them just yet, but it can be kind of tricky. And someone asked yesterday, and I know you can send them now after the broadcast is over with as well too. So don't have to send us anything. This is, like I said, something that we just have done for years for free. So we're definitely not right on our little cup, but we always appreciate those little tinkles in our cup. So Elizabeth says, thank you for doing this. Followed since you first started. Always super helpful. And we thank you, Elizabeth, and all of you for following us. Miss Tasha sending a big money, big money. Kelsey joining us in the chat today. Welcome down, welcome down. All right. We got Tasha from Spring Hill. Hello, Tasha. Hope you are doing well. Kelsey's joining us from between Culleoka and Columbia. So is that around like McCain's or so? Know exactly where that's at. Some of my folks are from there. If you know where Irwin Road is, that is the cradle of the Irwin family there. So Lewisburg, outstanding. Angel joining us from Lyles. Mac Dizzy joining us from Hampshire. Hopefully can make it back to the top of Mount Crop after this midnight shift. Yeah, I don't know that I would want to go up your driveway, Kens. Not with 6 inches, because you got that drop off there to the left too when you're going back down. And yeah, I would possibly park at the bottom of your driveway once you get back, just in case. So the going up would be, yeah, but man, that going down, I think I would rather walk. So yeah, definitely familiar with your driveway, and I would recommend caution for sure. Angel joining us from Lyles. Angela in Winchester, appreciate keeping us informed, and we appreciate you, Angela. Katie K says, hello, everyone. Jennifer says, thank you for doing this. And again, we thank you, Jennifer, for joining us here on the stream today. Kimberly joining us from Culleoka. Welcome, welcome. Gabby says, finally my town on the map. Theta. Yes, absolutely. So this is the whole reason why we do this, because this is where we live. So this is where we care about. So obviously we try to just generally cover forecasts for the majority of Middle Tennessee, because if I say, hey, Columbia's going to get some severe weather tomorrow, you can assume that Marshall County is probably going to get the same thing, because it's got to go through Columbia first. So we generally try to take care of all of the contiguous counties that surround Murray there as well, and just do generalized forecasts for all of Middle Tennessee, because the weather is not a small thing. It's usually a pretty large event if it's going to come through and dump something. So yeah, Miss Captain out there throwing out some advice. If you got a big driveway, really steep, or really, kind of hard drop off incline, you definitely may want to consider parking at the bottom of it tonight. throw a bed sheet maybe, or an old tarp or something like that over your windshield, slam it in the door so it stays put. That way when you come out tomorrow, if you've got to drive, that's one less thing that you've got to clean off. And on that note, something that people tend to forget a lot of the time, you've got to clean off the top of your car. So we don't look to get like the ice like we normally do this time. It looks like it may actually be some of that nice powdery snow. But definitely remember to clean off your car, because if that actually manages to form and freeze into a big sheet, if you're going down the road at speed, once they get, the bypass cleared and you're tootling down there, doing 60, 70 miles an hour, and that sheet manages to flip off, that can hurt someone very, very badly. Because, you're talking about, a frozen sheet of ice the size of a flat screen TV coming at you at 60 miles an hour. So that's not going to be good. Remember to clean off, the front of the windshield, the back windshield, back deck, and then definitely the roof of your car. That can be very dangerous. And a lot of places up north will actually write you a ticket for it. Cops will stop you and get you. So definitely make sure you remember to do that. All right, Jennifer, sending that big money. Jennifer Jeter, thank you very, very much. Svetlana says, looks like we were close to you, a couple neighborhoods down from the college. Yes, so Boppy lives over near the college, and I live in Sunnyside, pretty much right near the middle of it. If you kind of imagine the middle, live right in the middle of Sunnyside. Devin says, love seeing the update from Lewisburg, and we love hearing from you, Devin, in Lewisburg. We always care about our neighbors, so... like Santa brought Kinsey some sleds, so I definitely think that's what I would do. Better going down on a sled than on your butt, for sure. So, right. I'm hoping I'm saying it's Jeannie, or is it Jeannie? I don't want to mispronounce anybody's name there, so I'll just say Harville. Hope you are doing great in Hollywood. Culioka, know exactly where that's at. Appreciate y'all joining us in the chat. I'm having to turn my head so much, guys, and I can't really hear my own voice because my ears are plugged up, so I'm hoping y'all can hear me well. I'm going to make sure I've got this adjusted. I'm spending so much time with my head turns, but we've got a lot of folks in the chat this morning, so appreciate each and every one of y'all joining us. Melody makes a great point. Says, good thing tomorrow is MLK Day and not everyone has to go to work. Yes, that is a great point. School is out, but obviously we care and love about those folks that have to go no matter what, rain, snow, sleet, or shine. Nurses, police, firefighters, doctors, postal workers, the essential workers that we came to rely on so much a couple years back. We love you, and we hope you get to work safe, leave with plenty enough time to arrive safely. Mrs. Cap is one of those. She is a nurse and the boss to boot, so she's got to be at work tomorrow, so may have to get out in a tank and take her there. Yep. Great point. Marley said, even if you live outside of Murray County, a lot of us work, shop, or visit here at some point. That is very, very true. So want to make sure that you check the roads, and we'll also rely on you all to help us as well with what you're seeing, what's going on as far as the road conditions, what kind of wintry precip you're seeing out there falling. Definitely let us know. That will be one of the key things that we will rely on you for. And then again, we take some of that information that meets the reporting criteria and we go ahead and forward it. Back to the National Weather Service to provide what's called ground truth, so we can see what's going on in the radar, what's going on in the air. But Columbia sits in a bit of a bowl, so Murray County, I'll go ahead and measure it real quick here on my radar, because it tells me we are 4,250 feet under the radar level. So if here's Columbia, the radar is looking at 4,000 feet in the ground, kind of like in an arc. So because the radar goes out in a big cone, so we need you to help us tell what's going on as far as the precip that's hitting the ground there, and as well when we have severe events, obviously, because tornadoes don't just go 4,000 feet in the ground. They're in contact with the ground, but we can't see the ground from the Nashville weather radar there near Old Hickory Lake. Sometimes we can use the radar that's down here at High Top near Huntsville, their weather service office, but it's about the same. So definitely will need some help seeing what's coming down as far as the precip tomorrow, and then always when we're dealing with severe weather. So we appreciate you shouting us out. Tell your friends and your family, bring a buddy. I've never cared and never wanted to have a competition of how many likes we've got on the page or followers, but the more followers and likes that we have, it tickles the Facebook algorithm and they can boost us in people's posts. A lot of times if you don't come directly to our page, or you have us followed to where you get notified whenever we do a new post, Facebook can bury us in the algorithms against, under the guys and gals that have a couple million likes and stuff like that. So, not Mr. Beast, never wanted to be Mr. Beast, but I'll take it just for the benefits that it provides you, because it'll normally try to show you some 8-hour-old, 28-hour-old post or something like that from yesterday or the day before that people have been really liking, or when we post the funny stuff sometimes. That's the only reason why I'm doing it, is to try to tickle the algorithm, and definitely in the next couple of days look at the time on the post. So if I'm going to be posting a lot, which I imagine I will be in the next about 48 hours or so, definitely look at the post. I'll try to go in and mark them outdated with the asterisks and stuff at top. But again, we may end up being busy. I have a feeling we will be. So definitely check on the post, see how old it is, because information becomes outdated very quickly in the weather business. So, Melody, it says her husband works street department in Franklin, so he'll be going to work to salt the roads. Yes, exactly. Folks like that, and we appreciate you for sure. One of my first big boy jobs was at 911, and that's one of those places to where you can't just call 911 and nobody be there. Can't happen. So I completely understand. I was a first responder and a police officer, corrections officer, so I get it for sure. Billy says, what are we looking at inches wise, Cap? I'll pull that back up for you. For those of you just joining us, we'll go back through all of that fun stuff. So I think the official high was 27 or 29. I've got 30 degrees right now in Sunnyside. Decent wind of about 4 to 5 miles an hour out of the north right now. Pressure is 30.05 and rising, and that's why I think, I've got the sinuses going on and a real banging headache this morning, so y'all just bear with me. So, the wind chill right now is 26. So with the wind that we've got going, it's kind of peaking right now as I'm speaking, up to about 8 miles an hour. So it's a little breezy today. Definitely keep an eye on those wind chills. So let's pull that back up. There we go. Perfect. So actually, we'll start here. So we do have the winter weather, the winter storm warning in effect for all of Middle Tennessee. It starts and goes into effect actually at 6 p.m. this evening. So it's been issued, not technically in effect. It's got about 6 more hours or so for that, but it runs all the way through 6 a.m. Tuesday. So definitely be weather aware and be mindful of that. So today, you see that precip sneaking in there about the 25% before our tonight slide comes into play, but very cold as you see. So high of only about 27, and this is going to begin that streak that we're going to be experiencing of freezing temperatures. And then as well at night, we expect to see some sub-zero temperatures with the wind chills factored in, lows in the single digits. It doesn't take much wind to get you below zero there, and that's exactly what we are expecting. Partly sunny though today, and it was fairly nice outside earlier when I went out to let the puppies out, but I'm going to expect that to deteriorate pretty rapidly starting this evening once the snow starts falling. So low for tonight about 17, but again, those wind chills probably going to have it less than that. We start to see the snow creeping in, and everywhere in Middle Tennessee's got that 80 to pretty much 100% chance of seeing the precip anywhere you are in Middle Tennessee. Lows about the same as you go throughout the state in the low to mid teens. Tullahoma's managed to be 19 there, Crossville 18. So other than that, pretty much low temps. And then again, we continue that pattern on into Monday, 22 degrees for the high, and then the low is obviously going to be very cold, but everywhere in the Middle Tennessee area is forecast to see that snow. So even if you're where you live doesn't pop up on the map there, if it's in that green in Middle Tennessee, you're gonna get the snow. Just depends on how much. So here are the official totals that have been tabulated from the National Weather Service. This was issued, looks like, just about 1 o'clock this morning. Columbia currently forecasted from anywhere from 4 to 6 inches. Tends to agree with that. Been saying that, so feeling pretty good about myself as far as that goes. 80 to 90% chance to see snow in excess of 3 inches there on that big graphic. So pretty wide swath, and again, kind of staying along and south of I-40 there, kind of like we thought it would. And then far right graphic, chance to see in excess of 5 inches, basically call it 50-50 for Columbia. So we're right there about the 50 to 60% chance. So pretty good chances that we're going to see a significant snow event unfold in the next 24 hours. So just kind of going through the bottom of that there, I think I covered most of it. 2 to 4 inches expected across the northwest, with 3 to 5 inches across the south and east. Heaviest snow will favor areas south of I-40. That's us. And then the Cumberland Plateau, where totals may be closer to 6 inches. And then again, the significant travel impacts are likely. Once it begins to snow, things are going to deteriorate pretty rapidly, I would say. If you must travel, be sure to check the latest road conditions and give yourself plenty of time to reach your destination. And then obviously dress warmly, as hypothermia or frostbite can happen in these conditions, and it doesn't take long, folks. That cold exposure can zap you pretty quick. Referring back to those temps there, this is our lows with the wind chill factored in. Going to be easily -3 on Tuesday morning, and then Wednesday morning easily -4. You got some out there that are even worse. Tullahoma -9, Crossville in the double digits there. So we're expecting multiple consecutive days of freezing temperatures continuing late Thursday morning. We may only get into the upper 30s even then. So remember to check on the 4 Ps throughout all of this. People, especially like your elderly, your children, those without heat, or you've got anybody that's a shut-in. And then obviously your pet. I'm trying to say 2 words at once. Your pets and your plants. Bring pets inside. I usually only let mine outside if it's above 40 degrees, but definitely during these frigid temperatures, you only want to limit that, maybe 20 or 30 minutes. So even if they like it, I know, I've got a German Shepherd. You have to drag him in every time it snows because he loves playing in it. So your plants, you already hopefully have those inside if you have any potted plants that you're able to take inside, and then the ones obviously that are planted, cover them up, do your best. 5-gallon bucket and a blanket will work wonders for stuff like that. And then obviously your pipes, you want to drip those faucets, cover up any outside spigots like for your hose or anything like that. And even opening the kitchen cabinet sink, if you have like an exterior facing wall there where your kitchen or your bathroom vanity is or whatever, open those doors. Just letting the warm air from the inside get into that can help wonders. So, and then the snow, I'll go ahead and talk about that. So this is the simulated radar from the HRRR model. This is one of my favorites. It updates quickly and factors in all of the current environmental conditions and then extrapolates that out. And we do see that preset possibly beginning as early as 5 p.m. or so this evening. So that has moved up a good bit from what it was. We were initially thinking maybe in the pre-dawn hours, but as you see now, we got that snow continuing throughout the pre-dawn hours into the rush hour Monday. So that's 8 a.m. right there, 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Still a decent amount of snow coming down there, and it looks like it will continue off and on, mostly on, all day if the forecast holds true. So it goes to about 8 p.m. there, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and then we see it finally tapering off out of the area. We'll go ahead and run that model again here in just about an hour and a half and get you the latest update from it when it comes. But right now, current thing is we could see about 5 to 6 inches. This is the snow total from that same model that you just saw. There may be a slight ice accumulation that we talked about just real briefly from that last model. Again, this is the ice accumulation from that, showing a really small trace amount of just 1/100th of an inch. So that's not really anything significant at all. Would not worry about that. If it was 1/10 of an inch, I would say it's a different story. 1/10 of an inch doesn't sound like much, but it can cause really big problems. The big pink blob you see down to the south of Chattanooga there is about that same area, about 1/10 of an inch, 15th of an inch, almost 20th of an inch, and that will cause a lot of problems. 1/4 of an inch of ice can shut a city down, bring down power lines, even get the substations and make roofs collapse. So ice is no joke, but it looks like we will stay safe from that for the most part. But as I mentioned earlier, if you guys are seeing any of that sleet or freezing rain or ice pellets called grapple, definitely give us a shout and let us know. Normally the North American model is pretty hard to impress as far as snow goes, and it's usually pretty good in depicting when we're going to have a bust or a near miss. But now, this morning, it's actually got us in the 6 to 7 inch club right there, because we see that hot spot of 7 inches right there along the western Murray County border, maybe around Hampshire, Williamsport, and going into Lewis County. So definitely watch out for those higher totals and let us know what you got. Send us a picture with the ruler. Try to measure it from a level flat surface. Don't measure it off of a vehicle or trash cans or anything like that. Just on a level surface, and let us know what you're seeing. So the NWS blend of models, it kind of takes and averages out a lot of different data from the other models and stuff, and kind of adds it all together and averages it. So it's got us right there about the 4 to 5 inch mark as well. So right pretty much down the line what we expected, and you see kind of that higher total going along in south of 40 like we expected. Nobody ever wants to hear the weatherman say between nothing and 10 feet, but sometimes that's the best we can do. The GEFS models got us bracketed between the low side of 2 and the high side of 6. I'd say that's probably about accurate. Some of the models, like the Euro, that are always stingy with snow, are showing us on the lower side or right at 2 inches. Some of them are actually showing it going farther to the south, and that's why it's missing us and getting us that lower total. But most all of them tend to agree, other than the Euro, that we have a high chance to see some decent snowfall. This is the probabilities for in excess of 1 inch from the GEFS 12 Zulu run. Got 94% there. And then the Icon, another one of the, I think it's a European model, but don't quote me on that, showing us with about 4 to 5 inches there on the ground. So, again, it's looking more and more likely the quicker or closer we get to it, rather, and the more models that I run, that we will see some accumulating snowfall. It's looking more and more likely. And again, I'll put those up real quick, just your preparation tips. The few days out stuff should have already done. The day before stuff, you should have done most of that. If not, you need to get on it and make sure you get those several things done, because we are pretty much in the during and after point now. That's all we've got left to go. So make sure you've got your plans in order. If you need to adjust those at all, go ahead and do that now. Have multiple ways to receive the warnings. So NOAA Weather Radio, weather.gov, any of those sources, broadcast media from the Nashville area, all of those good ideas. And of course, you can get the latest and greatest info down here as well from WDiMT. And bring those pets indoors. Make sure they've got plenty of food and water, and to keep their peats warm. So definitely love the furry things, so make sure we're doing that. And then again, once the event starts, check on your neighbors and your family. You know, if you've got some elderly folks living next door, put on your snow boots, trudge over there and see if they're doing okay or if they need anything. And definitely make sure you're properly ventilating your emergency heat sources if you're using anything like that, or you got a Jenny running, make sure you've got it 20 feet away. Fire risk there, and then the carbon monoxide as well. All right, so other than that, that is the majority of everything that I've got to pass along. Sorry, still drinking my coffee, folks. And I'm going to hop back in the comments real quick, make sure we've got all of the questions answered. Again, if you're just joining us and you do have any comments, throw that in the comment section and I'll get to you. Megan says, is there any shelter to go to before I have to sleep in a car tonight? Most places I've seen you have to be there at a certain time and I won't get off work until late. I know that we had a post up, Megan, about a warming center, I believe, at one of the churches. I'll have to go back and look at that and see, or if you want to scroll back on the page real quick, I know it's on there. I just don't remember exactly where it's at. Because yeah, we'll definitely, if I've got to get on there and message some folks and find some stuff out, we don't want you sleeping in your car tonight. It's going to be too cold, especially the next couple of nights. Looks like Mindy's in the comments there. Family Center will have a warming station open for you to stay warm tonight. Perfect. That was one of the ones that I was trying to think of the name. Family Center, yes. So perfect. We don't want you sleeping in the car tonight. That's going to be too cold. So definitely find somewhere to stay warm, Megan. Right. Garrett joining us in the chat. Welcome. So make sure we're good on YouTube there. Melissa says, thank you for the updates. You are very welcome, Melissa. All right, Brandy P is in Cully. Welcome, Brandy. Glad that you can join us in the chat as well. Glad to have you. And then again, we are still trying to do a little membership drive, subscriber drive there on YouTube. So if you don't subscribe to us on YouTube yet, go over to youtube.com/@WDiMT and like and subscribe there. If you want to get notified, you can tap the little bell icon and then you'll have a notification every time that we get ready to go live. We appreciate that because we are so close to being monetized on YouTube. I've got to get some more video hours on there on my part. And then I think we've got about 50 more to go. I'd have to look because we were actually had a lot more new subscribers last night. Are we over 1,000? We are. We had just hit 1,002. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Giggity.
And we love you the best. So we did go ahead and hit that 1,000. We got 150 new subscribers. That's awesome. Perfect. So you guys are awesome for that. We thank you so very much. It's just another thing that helps us. Facebook pays us a little bit every time that you all like or comment or share or make some interactions on the page. So all of those little bits and bobs definitely add up, helps us cover the costs, like we said, because this is an all volunteer organization. So that is amazing. Give yourself a big pat on the back. That is great. So definitely glad to have that. It's just the stuff on my end that I've got to do now to get some more video hours on there. So that is awesome. All the slides that we've talked about today posted up on the page. I believe I put the model run. No, I did not. See, let me go ahead and post that HRR run that I just did as well. But all of the slides that we've used right now on the live stream are on the page as well. All right, so the model graphic is going up there if you want to watch it and pause it or whatever. It will be on the page as soon as YouTube gets done posting it. It always takes a minute on the videos. And same way with this, once this stops, you can always go back and rewatch it on the page. It'll take a little bit for it to post to the page, but it's usually not too long, just depending on how long the video is. But I see now we're up over an hour, so... I always intended on these videos being like 15 or 20 minutes, and it just never works. So glad you all could join us, though. Glad to have you here. If you are just joining us now, go ahead and throw any questions in the comments. Biggest thing, as you can see down there on the bottom of the screen, is the winter storm warning. So that will take effect at 6 p.m. tonight and run through 6 a.m. Tuesday morning. So we are in for the big snow, it looks like, as close as we get. The models are all converging about like I expected they would, and we stand to see a pretty good snow. So definitely waiting to see as far as that goes, but it is looking better and better as we go. Having a look at one of the newest HRR runs, and it's potentially showing maybe some heavier snow. So, and it's just going to depend. There's likely going to be a big stripe of heavier snow that moves through the Middle Tennessee area. We expect it to go generally south of I-40, but it's just going to depend exactly where that tracks. And a lot of the last recent runs of the model have it tracking pretty much through or pretty close to the MuleTown, Murray County area. So that is definitely good news for the snow lovers. For the folks that are less than excited, sorry, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it does look like we will see at least a couple, 3-4 inches of snow, and likely and possibly some heavier pockets of closer to maybe 5 and 6 inches. So I'm excited. I'm like a big kid when it snows. I always have to temper my excitement and be objective about all of this, but again, it's looking very much more likely that we shall see the accumulating snowfall. Just curious to see how much. So have a look at the ice. Yeah, so for the most part, it looks like any ice, freezing rain, sleet, stuff like that will stay to our south. There may be a little bit that slides through. It looks like on the back end of this as the system is exiting. But right now it does look to be a minuscule amount. So good news there. All right. Kyle says, what's the verdict? How many inches are we getting? That is the $1 million question. I think and have thought for a couple of days now that it was very possible for us to get around 4 to 6 inches. And this morning, looks like the Weather Service is agreeing with me there. And I'll put up some probabilities. You can see about 80 to 90% chance of seeing in excess of 3 inches, and at least a half and half, maybe a little bit better, 60% chance of seeing greater than 5 inches there for the MuleTown area. That big orange stripe there that's represented in the rightmost graphic is what I was talking about a second ago. That's kind of the expected path that I think it's going to take. It's just going to depend on where exactly or how wide and broad that that stripe of heavier precip is as it's going through Middle Tennessee. But I think something along the lines of this, probably 5 to 6 inches, are going to be pretty accurate. Got another one here from the North American model that's usually kind of stingy about snow, and it's got us solidly in the 6, possibly, this is not set in stone, some areas that could see closer to 7 as well, like Cookeville, or maybe there on the western end of Murray County and into Lewis County. So very possible. Some of the other models have got us at 4 or 5 inches, and some that are party poopers or tend to be like the Euro model have only got us at about 2 or 3 inches, but even then, I feel pretty safe to say that it looks like in the basement side of things, 2 to 3 inches would be a pretty safe bet, but I'm thinking that we could possibly see that 4 to 6 inches, maybe some localized spots with more. So it is very possible, Kyle. I'm glad you asked that. Donna's going to be, or excuse me, Dana. Sorry about that. Dana going to be running it barefoot. I'm surprised my kids aren't already. They love to run outside barefoot and all of that fun stuff. So I'll have to keep them with their expectations tempered, because they've already talked about wanting to go outside and play in it and do X or Y or Z. But it's going to be bitterly cold, so definitely limit the exposure for the kiddos, and yourself too, and the pets. Want to limit that exposure maybe about 30 minutes or so, and then come in, warm up, and then give it about maybe an hour or so, warm up, get that blood circulation back going, and then you can go back out and play some more. I do think, we talked about this behind the scenes a little bit, that I can go ahead and unveil for those listening. You get the sneak peek. The weather down in MuleTown 2024 January snowman contest. So if we get that good snow and you do see it piling up in your backyard, we want to see some snowmen. Obviously, we want you to take care and be careful when you're making it with the cold and stuff like that. Don't get yourself overexposed, but we want to see those snowmen. So, if you're listening now, and if you end up getting that good accumulating snow, you can be the first to know about the contest. I'll post it on the page here in just a little bit, but we want to see the snowman. So, we'll be holding that contest, and Boppy and I will be the judge, maybe Mrs. C there too. We want to see those big old snowmen and how creative you can get with them, or how big you can make them, whichever you go for there. So we may think up some categories or something between now and then, like the biggest or the most inventive one, or cutest one may have like a kid's choice or a kids category only. But we definitely want to see those snowman. We thought that would be a fun idea because we never get snow around here, especially not the snowman kind of snow. The only trick we may run into in the trouble there is it may be, it's looking to be a drier, more powdery snow than that wet, real fluffy, $50 size flakes that we get. There may be some of that big snow coming down, but it could be a little bit less wet than we normally expect it to be, than our normal Tennessee snow. So I think that is a great idea. So let's do it. Captain's orders. Again, I'll post it on the page in a minute, but you all will be the first to hear about the contest. Aaron says, so it's looking like 6+ inches for Columbia Mount Pleasant. It is very possible. So, we were talking about the basement amounts earlier. I think we've probably got at least a great chance to see at least 2 or 3 inches. But yeah, some places could see between 4 to 6 inches. That is very possible. It's just going to depend basically where that stripe of heavier accumulations lands. Again, none of this is set in stone yet. These are all models that we're talking about here. It just thinks where it's going to go. That's what it's letting us know. We won't actually know until it gets here. And one of the posts I made yesterday was explaining even then, we still kind of have some tricky parts to go through because we don't know exactly what is hitting the ground. So we can see snow on the radar and not all of that be hitting the ground. So that's where you all come in, and I've got that tool that I've been working on to kind of help us filter out some of the light rain, and I actually don't see anything at the moment. Yeah, okay, so we can go up here and use this as an example. So this is probably some snow or something that's not reaching the ground up towards Paducah, Kentucky. And then once we turn our filter on, all of that pretty much goes away. So that's kind of by design. So it's only helping us pick up the radar returns that it thinks are actually snow, so we can kind of eliminate some of those false readings there, but I don't see much of anything else to kind of show you and illustrate it on. So I'll turn the warnings back on there, but that is a new tool that we will be using. This will be the first time that we're getting to use it, but it should help us tell a difference between the snow and any rain or sleet or ice. Over here on the side of the screen, you can see the scale there. Let me turn this off because it's kind of messing with it. So you can see the scale here. So kind of light blue is light snow, and then the heavier stuff is going to get up into the kind of, pinks, and light pink there are mix. So if it's kind of doing a mixture of both or all three, rain, snow, sleet, ice, we'll see here in the purple straight ice, like maybe like freezing rain or sleet, is going to show up in the lighter kind of, I don't know what color that is, pinky orange maybe. I don't know, I'm a man. We only see the 8 standard colors and variations of them, so we don't know what kumquat is. And then the green to light yellow there obviously is the rain. So that is our scale that we'll be working off of, and that should help us tell the difference between the different types of wintry precip that we are expecting. Marissa says she won't be leaving the house. Screw the white stuff and the cold. I can definitely agree with you on the cold there. I just wish it was going to be, just cold enough to snow and then we could get it over with there, but it is going to be painfully cold, folks. It hasn't been this cold. I've been trying to remember, and I'm going to have to go in and look up like the historical records on the Weather Service's website, because I don't remember, A, the last time that we were forecasted to get 4 to 6 inches of snow, and B, when it was this cold, and getting those negative wind chills. I would have to go look it up because I don't remember. I'll be 37 years old this fall, and this is one of the bigger snows that I can remember since about 2011, maybe 10, 11. I think we got a decent about 5 or 6 inch snowfall, because it was when I was still a police officer, and it was a mess. So travel will be impacted. The roads, like I said, are going to deteriorate pretty rapidly once this starts. And as we've been talking about, I've tried to post that on the page as well too, just to bring that to everybody's attention. The brine and salt mix that they use is less and less effective under 15 degrees Fahrenheit. So overnight, we should expect a lot of what does manage to melt to refreeze into black ice. So in the mornings, even if the roadways look clear, watch out for that, because that could definitely be a thing with the temperatures that we are expecting. There could be a lot of refreezing. So, but again, big pink area that you see here throughout the mid-state is going to be that winter storm warning. Remember, the warning means that it is happening now, or will happen very soon in this case, and it takes effect from 6 p.m. this evening and goes until 6 a.m. Tuesday morning. So please stay weather aware. Make sure you're getting the latest and the greatest from the NWS local media, or of course here down in WeatherDown in MuleTown. So other than that, if anybody's got any other comments, questions, admissions of guilt, spontaneous utterances, go ahead and throw those in the comments now, and I will get to those. Again, thank you for everybody joining us on the YouTube simulcast. We appreciate y'all as well, and welcome to the stream. So I think that is all I've got to cover. We've covered all the slides, I think, twice or better in this case. Gone through all the models, and I will continue to post those as well too as the models get done running. I'll try to post those to the page and go ahead and have some discussion about those models in the comments. But that should be about all I've got for you. So it looks like it's 12:47 in the PM now in Columbia. So in about the next 4 to 5 hours, we expect to see that snow. I may at some point put the radar loop up. I've got a little icon that I can pop up at times for when I am not exactly right here. It'll come up over my name right there. So whenever you see that info, and whenever obviously whenever I'm not sitting there in the little box, I am gone. But as it says, I will be right back. So I usually do that just to keep the radar loop up here so you can see what's going on. And then it will, the map will change colors as well too if we've got, mainly during like severe weather with thunderstorms and stuff, but it will show if there's any watches, warnings, or advisories issued as well. But now, obviously, we're covered under that winter storm warning, so that's about as warned as it's going to get, I think, because don't expect to see any type of blizzard conditions or anything like that. So, we'll look and see as it gets here, but it is definitely on the way. We're all but sure that we will see an accumulating snowfall. It's just down to how much exactly. So, I think that's all I've got. Won't waste any more of your valuable time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Remember to do all of the things that we talked about. Put those up there for just another second real quick. Make sure we've got all of those things. Take care of the fuzzy things. Make sure you got your neighbors. They're good to go. They don't need anything, especially, if they're elderly or maybe shut-ins. Be careful about the carbon monoxide and don't get frostbite on your fingers. Don't want to do that. So, other than that, folks, I think that's all I've got for you. So, stay tuned, watch out, and stay warm. My button didn't work. Hate it when that happens. Again, I'm a one-man TV show, so sometimes it happens. Hope y'all have a great day.